Hey guys, hope everybody's doing good today. I'm going to do a little tour of our firewood yard today and kind of show you guys our inventory as of today. It is right around the end of August. I think, I don't know, maybe August 24th, 25th, something like that. Doesn't really matter, but just wanted to give you a tour of our inventory as of today, and also obviously a tour of the yard as I'm walking around. Might show a couple other things, but y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna get you flipped around here and we'll get started. All right, so figured this would be the best place to start. We call this the wood yard basically, but this is where we typically take in tractor trailer loads of logs. That's like 95% of the logs that come to us. That's how they come, is double bunked on a tractor trailer. And either myself, my brother, or sometimes the driver of the truck actually will unload himself. Just depends on who's here, who's available. One of our loggers likes to send trucks on the weekends when nobody's here, and the driver of the truck will unload himself with our machine. But typically we'll have a big pile of logs right here. Obviously we are completely out right now. I mean, we just ran some cherry today. We have a little bit of hickory sitting over here. But yeah, we are pretty much completely out of logs right now, which is not a big deal. We've just been processing as they come in, and we haven't really been pushing our loggers to load us up. But if we do, they typically will really start sending the trucks. So hasn't been an issue for us lately getting logs. But yeah, basically the way our yard is set up, as we progress farther back, going that direction, the firewood becomes just a little more refined, basically. And I'll walk you guys through that throughout this video, throughout the process. But yeah, this is our log storage. We can easily fit, it might not look very big, but we can stack them pretty high with the knuckle boom there, and get a couple rows of logs in here. And at times we'll have I don't know, 500 tons of logs or more. A typical tractor trailer load will hold right around 30 to 35 tons, to give you all an idea. But our retention pond is right here near the road. It's a mess right now. We need to somehow get this retention pond area cleared up. And we have a bunch of IBC totes stacked up around the pond here. I'm gonna do a bunch of walking in this video, so y'all bear with me. So this is primarily oak. Well, I should say it's 100% oak until it gets to a certain point, and then it switches to 100% hickory. All of this stuff is seasoned and ready to go. The reason it's out here is because we were freeing up some space where we typically store the baskets last year to install an asphalt area. I'll show you guys that in a minute. But this isn't where we really plan to store IBC totes long term. It's just kind of for this for this one season while we got that other area prepared. But I have no idea how many are here. I think at one time we figured it was around 1,200 baskets, and we've been taken from it. This is one of the nice things about IBC totes. If you store them in a certain way, you can always access your driest wood. So that's one of the reasons why we really like it for the seasoned firewood. You can process wood, anytime you want throughout the year, and put it in a certain spot where it's not blocking your more dry wood. So we really like that about the whole system of the IBC totes. But This is all oak, like I said, and it's down to 20% or less moisture content. It's really good. This wood is more for our delivery customers that we deliver to locally around here, and I'll show you, what goes into all that in a few minutes as well. But yeah, so that's a section of our inventory there. Like I said, it's oak and hickory. This is all oak until right around here somewhere, and it'll switch to hickory. But yeah, I'll walk over to the other end and show you guys some more of our inventory as we continue this little tour here. All right, so getting closer over here to our customer pickup bin. That's what's here in front of me. We have it kind of blocked out right now with these IBC totes because it's still off season. We'll end up opening this up for customer pickup probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Like I said, it's end of August. But this is the main entrance to our property here. And if you follow this drive all the way down, there's another gate down there, but we typically keep that one locked up. But here's the other end of that section of IBC totes that's around our retention pond. Everything you see here is hickory, and it's all seasoned and ready to go. This whole block of wood here has been split and in IBC totes for we're coming up on 12 months, well, maybe about 10 months. But it definitely dries a lot faster, as you guys probably know, in these baskets than it does in a bulk pile. I'll try to get you a shot of this customer pickup bin the best I can, but this is all 100% oak as well. It's mostly what we sell here from the yard. I'm gonna try to walk around the outside of our fence here, but the peaks of these piles, they're probably, I don't know, 15 to 17 feet tall. We filled most of this with a 32-foot conveyor. But as you get farther this way, it's more green, and we'll open the bin up on that right side when we start selling here from the yard out of this area, and that stuff will be seasoned, ready to go. Over here is our stove wood, which is just shorter, more random sized pieces. We give that to customers for a little bit less money. We'll just load customers with a skid steer bucket out of this. Like I said, it's all oak, and if I had to put a number on it, I mean, there's probably 200 cords of wood in here, in this big pile. Some of these IBC totes that are kind of forming a barrier are hickory. All these here are hickory, and then there's, I don't know, 10 or 15 of them over here that's actually beetle kill pine. That's one thing we try to do, is just have something for everybody. Whether they're burning in their house and they want all oak and they're willing to pay what we charge, or if they want to save some money and they're burning outside maybe, and that beetle kill pine there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly good for a campfire or something like that. And we also sell like a mixed hardwood, which I'll show you guys in a minute. But yeah, I think it's important to just try to have something for everybody. And not every customer, wants the exact firewood that you would want to burn at your house. So yeah, this is the stove wood. It's separated by some concrete blocks. It's hard to tell on that left side, but there is a wall there somewhere, and that stove wood is sold for pretty cheap here, to be honest, and we'll usually sell out that bin in one season as well as this big bulk bin of oak. We'll usually sell that out by about January. Another thing to consider, when you're trying to season firewood naturally, is obviously airflow and sunlight, and that's two things we have a lot of here. There's not any nearby trees, so this stuff, if the sun's out, it's getting direct sun. And we actually have some mountains you can kind of see in the background that kind of funnel wind through this area, so we get a lot of wind here as well, so it's kind of ideal conditions for naturally drying firewood. But like I said, there's definitely no better way that we found to season wood than put them in IBC totes and leave some space for airflow. But both the customer pickup bin and that stove wood bin, you can see there's concrete floors, and all this was the concrete, asphalt, everything you see here was poured for our specific purpose. We did everything ourselves, and so this concrete floor under the customer pickup bin is sloped pretty severely, and it allows water to drain out anytime it rains here, and that makes a big difference versus just having this wood piled on the ground. Also makes loading a lot easier, but concrete's nice to have when you can afford it, and we definitely could not afford it in our first 10 or 15 years of selling firewood, so this has just kind of been an evolution to get to this point. But this stuff, it dries pretty well in here, and we don't have any complaints, and it's just the best way we found to load customers that drive up. So as we continue on this way, we have our fire pit, I guess you would call it. We have it surrounded in concrete, and we always have something to burn in there. Right here next to the fire, I figured I'd show this while I'm over here. These are they're basically resplits that we didn't resplit down because some customers come and want larger splits. So these aren't huge by any means, but we call it oversized oak, and it's all seasoned, dry, and it's hard to tell, but I mean they're a little bigger than our normal size pieces. But yeah, there's only 3 baskets of it here, so hopefully we don't get a big demand for that. I think we have some kiln dried that's also oversized. So right here is a little block of hickory. This stuff is all pretty much seasoned and ready to go as well. We get about half a face cord per IBC tote, a little bit more than half a face cord per IBC tote. So it comes out to about 5 of these the way we have them loaded to make a full cord. And we load them with a skid steer bucket. We don't load them by hand. Even loose loaded by hand, you probably fit a little more in an IBC tote than the way we do it with a skid steer. But it does leave, a lot of area for air to flow, and it helps it dry a lot faster. So now we're kind of moving into our storage area that we set up after the rush of firewood season last year, and we put some asphalt here. I think it's about 15,000 square feet, and then we have concrete where we are running machines a lot. We've been working on filling some kiln baskets with cherry right here, so this stuff was just split today actually. Right here next to where our processing operation kind of discharges, that's our final conveyor off the processor line. We will put, in the off season, we'll put some seasoned oak right here, and that's just for any customer that pulls up over the summer or spring or just anytime that we don't have that big customer pickup area opened up, we'll have a little bit of oak here that's seasoned for anybody that were to come up. We don't get a whole lot of drive up throughout the summer, as you can imagine, but we need something to load customers' pickup truck or whatnot if they do pull up. This area here is typically where we will fill baskets. We don't have many empties right now. There's a bunch of 330s right there. It's one thing about IBCs, we're not picky about what size we get. We take the 275s and the 330s, and we'll use them both. But sometimes if we're not resplitting in a customer pickup, we will bring a splitter over here and we'll do resplits here. It's nice to be under a roof and out of the sun, especially in the summer. But yeah, this is just kind of a area that we use to fill baskets before they're brought to their final drying location. So as we start selling all that wood that's around the retention pond, those baskets should never go back out to that area again, as we'll refill them, and as we do, they should be staged out on this asphalt area. And this is probably the best way we've found to naturally dry firewood over the years. So if you have a good well-drained surface that your IBC totes are on, that helps. You obviously don't have to have asphalt. We did this to hopefully one day get a forklift and be able to move these baskets around and stack them a little more efficiently than running a skid steer. So we invested, and we must really like our customers, because we invest a lot to give them a quality product. There's probably $40,000-$50,000 of asphalt here, but yeah, I'll take y'all around the other side of this. But basically, we only have them stacked too high right here because most of our IBCs are out around that retention pond I showed you. And as we sell those and start bringing them over, refilling them, bring them over here, we're gonna try to go 4 high with our IBC totes. But since we've got more than enough space right here for now, we're just going to, and this stuff you're looking at, it may end up lasting through and ended like winter of 2027, but most likely this stuff we will be selling maybe right at the tail end of this season, maybe March of 2027. I would estimate we'd be into some of this, but the bulk of this is oak. So right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of hickory, and then it switches to oak, and this is all oak. Another nice thing about IBCs is if you have separate products you offer, it's easy to separate them and always access your driest wood. This is 24-inch wood. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's long. This stuff is not quite seasoned and ready yet, but we advertise it as extra long firewood on our website, and it is sold only seasoned. We don't offer kiln dried, and it is a mix of oak and hickory. Typically, we don't offer different species for the extra long either. So they have one option if they want extra long wood, and like I said, it's roughly 24 inches. Right here is a mixed hardwood, so we call it campfire wood, I think, on our website, and it's a mix. It has mostly maple, I would say, some poplar, maybe a little bit of sweet gum. It's basically just if our logger kind of screws up and mixes in an odd species, we take it out and make it into this mixed hardwood or campfire wood. So as you get to this side of the asphalt area here, this is basically what we'll start selling from when we start taking seasoned wood from this area. And over here on this end, like I said, we have the mixed hardwood or campfire wood. This stuff is fully seasoned, ready to go until you get down towards, you can probably see the color change. Those last 6 baskets were split more recently. And again, the next row over, the 24-inch, this is fully seasoned and ready to go. It's bone dry. Probably that's been seasoned over a year actually. And we don't sell a ton of that. Sorry, my phone ended up overheating there, so I'm not sure where it cut me off, but I'm back over here. I'm just gonna walk around the backside where I was a minute ago. This area hopefully will be stacked. It'll be completely filled with IBCs, stacked 4 high by this time next year, but we'll see how that goes. There's a little bit of cherry here. We don't get enough cherry to even, I mean, we have in the past. It's just a little inconsistent as far as how much cherry we can get. So we haven't marked as sold out right now on our website as far as seasoned cherry goes, and customers can buy kiln dried cherry if they want it, and we'll have a little bit of that until that supply runs out. But there's a little bit of seasoned cherry on the end there. But like I said, this is all oak here. I don't know how many rows of it we have before it changes to hickory, but once all that around the retention pond is sold, we'll start pulling from this area for our firewood deliveries. This is all hickory here. We have one kiln for our kiln drying. It's right here, and it's not for everybody. You got to charge a lot for that firewood, but there is a market for it in our area, so we do a little bit of kiln drying as well. Here's some firewood racks while I'm here. We custom weld these and offer them on our website to customers. We have 4-foot racks and 8-foot racks, and we just buy these little caps on Amazon, and other than that, everything is just custom. You know, we order the steel and weld them up ourselves and then get them powder coated. So there's some 8-foot racks between the kiln and this container, but they hold a perfect half face cord or face cord. So that kind of closes out our IBC tote area. If I had to put a number, I say we have maybe 300 or 400 full cords stored in IBC totes. Could be wrong, but now we get, as I said, as we move along, everything gets a little more refined, and I'm just showing you guys some of the process here. So in here we have some wood racked out that's waiting for delivery, and this does a couple things. It allows us to quality control our product that's going out to the customer for delivery, and we'll call out some random ugly stuff, and that might be what's in here. I'm not even sure what this is, but even though you process wood, it goes through a tumbler and a cleaner and all the stuff. As it sits in these IBCs, it breaks down more, and you have bark and trash / whatever you want to call it, and all that gets taken out here as we rack it into these racks. I think that we have about 100 of these right now. It might total 25 cords of wood in here waiting for delivery. And another thing it does is it puts our firewood that's about to go to the customer under a roof. So if it rains a day or two before delivery, they're not getting wet wood. This stuff is bone dry by the time it makes it to the customer, and that's really nice. And we put it in an enclosed trailer to deliver it, so even if it's raining on delivery day, they're still getting dry wood delivered to their house. But we will separate things here. There's a little bit of green oak. We have a barbecue place that wants green oak. We have kiln dried oak here. We usually run about 3 rows of it, and everything's labeled here on the back wall. Seasoned oak, kiln dried pizza cut, 24-inch oak, seasoned hickory, and then on the end there we have kiln dried cherry, kiln dried hickory. But yeah, this system works well for us. It's a good way to just get the wood to the customer, and then we will take it off of these racks and stack it on the customer's racks wherever it may be. A lot of times we're going around houses with this stuff and putting it on the patio or deck behind their house or wherever they want it. And while I'm doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys in here a little bit. We have some firewood racks. We also sell like the round tube racks like you buy at a big box store, and we'll bring them and assemble them on site for a customer. There's some bagged wood in here. We have a couple of these electric carts that we move the racks around with, so that makes it nice for the delivery guys. They don't have to wrestle these things. They put them on a cart and push a button, and it pretty much take the wood anywhere a wheelbarrow would get. All right, so this is some of the stuff we will cull out if it's a little long, a little longer than 16 inches. We'll put it in a basket, and I don't know, sometimes we'll sell this customer pickup, and there's some larger pieces that need to be split down again. There's some long kiln dried pieces, and when I say long, they're just an inch or two long. That's one thing about these racks here. We stick to a pretty tight tolerance on what makes it to the customer as far as size and length and all that. I will take y'all over here real quick. I know this one's running a little long, but right here on the other side of our office, we have some examples set up for any customer that pulls up for the first time and they don't really know what they want and they don't know what we offer. This, like I said, we have 3 size skid steer buckets that we load out of that customer pickup bin, and they're represented here. So we brought a small bucket over here and we stacked it. And sorry, I got tools in the way, but that small rack here, it's only 2 feet wide. Small bucket makes about that much. We sell it for 40 bucks, you know, for pickup here. And then the medium bucket, a lot of customers get this. It's $75 a bucket, and it's roughly this amount of wood. And the large bucket is this amount of wood. So we don't really get into face cord, half face cord, half a cord. You know, we don't really get into that for customer pickup. It's a small bucket, a medium bucket, or a large bucket. Y'all can see the prices we charge there: 40, 75, and 150 for the large. And it's really the same amount of wood for your money. The different size buckets are just they're there for loading different size vehicles. The large bucket, for instance, is too big to load a pickup truck without spilling it over the sides. So we'll use the smaller medium bucket for most pickup trucks. On the other side of the door here, we have, this is seasoned oak in bags, $5 each. This is seasoned, or this might be kiln dried actually, kindling, $8 a bag for that stuff. But there's a little covered shed on the side of our shop here, and it's nice for customers to be able to come and get just a few bags if they want. And we also have a roadside stand out there that's open 24 hours. All right, so now we're kind of at the other end of the property in our shop. It doesn't really get any more refined than this as far as our firewood goes. We have a lot of cooking wood that's in boxes back here that we'll ship nationwide from our website. It's smoking chunks and mini split stuff. This is kiln dried in these bags here that we'll refill our roadside stand with. But yeah, there's basically different types of firewood and cooking wood in all these boxes. And that's pretty much the cleanest, most refined firewood we have here. So here's an example of what's in some of the cooking wood boxes. It's just, you know, small mini splits like this. It's all kiln dried, and this would be like a cooking chunk for smokers and grills, that kind of thing. And then the mini splits can also be used for smokers, grills, and pizza ovens. Everything that goes in the boxes is kiln dried, because you do have to have a certification to ship across state lines, and the wood has to be heat treated. Kiln drying is basically heat treating, but overkill of the heat treat process. So all of ours that's in the box is kiln dried and certified to ship across state lines. These IBCs that are in the shop, they have kiln dried wood in them. That one's maple actually, and then there's some hickory behind there. And our kiln dried wood is always kept indoors, never sees rain, and we do offer customer pickup here at the shop of kiln dried, and if they do come to buy that here, we'll rotate one of these baskets into their truck bed, or 2 or 3, however many they want. Yeah, I think that is about all there is to show here as far as firewood inventory goes, and a little bit of our process. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and if there's any questions y'all have, you can put them in the comments and I'll try to answer any questions that I can. But as far as our firewood inventory goes, that pretty much covers it. You know, we're not a huge firewood operation by any means, but we do have, you know, maybe 500 or 600 cords of wood here ready to go. And yeah, that's just how we do it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you on the next one.